What's going on, guys? So I felt the need to make this video about the um grab the controller here, the Nintendo Switch. This is of course my Pro controller. My Nintendo Switch is actually turned on right now. um I'm actually about to start playing one of my newer games that I just got, Knights of Azure 2, Bride of the New Moon. It's right here. It's by TK Games. I don't know how you say their actual name. I just got done playing The End Is Nigh. This just came as well. Both these games arrived today. Um, this makes the final Nicalis game in my collection of Nicalis games. This game is so much fun. Totally recommend this game. I wish I had a way to stream this game. It is a blast. It's got a very good difficulty level to it, and it's just all around fun. There's humor in the game, which is right up my alley. Um, I was just playing it, one, to see if it worked, to make sure it worked, so I didn't have to go back and take it back, even though I ordered it offline. Um, and two, because, like I said, it's going in my Switch collection, which is why I'm here now talking to you guys. I figured, why not talk about not only the two games that I just received here, but let's go over every game that I have, because now I've established quite a nice collection of games, aside from the like 5 or 6 games that I have on the Switch, that are digital, which are, of course, Antiqua Lost. Um, we have Oceanhorn, Monsters of Uncharted Seas, Radiant Saga, a game I can't pronounce. I really wish I could. Rocket League, which I have digital because I didn't know that game was going to have a physical. Vaccine, which I didn't mind that game at all. Um, excuse me, I think that's it. That's all the digital content that I have. Vaccine, Rocket League, and of course Oceanhorn, Raven Saga, Antiqua Lost. Those are mainly RPG games. The one I can't pronounce is, I'm gonna try to say this name. If I butcher it all to hell, it's because it's just really difficult, but it's kind of a platformer. It reminds me more of Child of Light, and I really wish that game would come to the Switch. I really love that game. I bought it on the PS4. Didn't know how much fun I was gonna have with it, but it's Pankapu. I want to say that's how it's pronounced, but I'm more than likely wrong. Now those are all my digital games. Now I don't have a complete collection. I've skipped several games. So before anything, don't worry about, oh, you don't have a complete collection. I know. I'm not saying that I do. I'm not even going to say that I'm even close. Alright, there's new games every day. I don't even shop on the eShop like that anymore. I'm still waiting for certain titles, and I'm not really supporting everything that comes out. Like, I don't have LA Noire, I don't have Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2, because Resident Evil Revelations, I have the first edition on the 3DS, and I don't feel like buying that game 700 fucking times. Just like with Resident Evil 4, I have the one on GameCube, which was the first edition. It came out first on GameCube, and I have a Wii edition, and I have I think I have that game on those two platforms, and I don't need any more copies of that game. And that being said, I don't need 900 copies of the same one fucking game. Get what I'm saying to you? So, that being said, let's go over what I do have. Alright, I'm just going to pick up a handful of them here. Handful 1, handful 2, and of course 2 others fell, which would mean I have a total of 4 more. Well, 3, excuse me. 3 more fell, which means that there's a total of 5 here when I add the 2 at the beginning. So I have no idea exactly how much is here. I haven't actually sat back and counted them. So they're all in alphabetical order. So What I do need to do is sit here and find out where these would go. Okay, obviously this one's gonna go up here. This is gonna go here, and then this one goes here. Alright. So now that we have these in a semi-alphabetical order, the reason I say semi is because I don't count the word the as putting them in, alphabetical order, because the isn't really the start of the title of the game. I always look at it like, oh, well, like, end is nigh. Not the end is nigh. You dig what I'm saying? Because if I did that, then The Legend of Zelda would be in the T's, not L's. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, my first game is ARMS. I bought this mainly to play with other people, and I've played it with like my niece. It's not bad. It's not as good as I was hoping, but it's not bad. Up next we have Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. This game is really addictive, and it's by Nicalis, a developer who I support 100%. Their content is amazing, and they always have an instruction manual and something extra in there. Binding of Isaac Afterbirth is got stickers, and I've actually got to buy another copy of this game because the cover art changed from reversible like this one here to having like a demon with wings on it, which looks so much better than this one. Even though I like this copy, I just want that cover art. It's so amazing, and on the back I reversed it, which is why you have the devil horns here. And then that one came out, and I was like, I really want that copy because it just looks amazing to me. Up next, we have another Nicalis, which is Cave Story, following the alphabetical order here. Cave Story came with a mini CD, which has a soundtrack on it, and I've started playing Cave Story, haven't gotten through it all, but that game is amazing. Up next, we have, I want to say I'm saying this right, I could be butchering it as well, DeSega 5 Complete. And I've started it, haven't even broke 2 hours in it because I have a lot of stuff here that I'm working on. Up next we have Doom. Panic Button is actually working on Wolfenstein 2, which means I'm buying it. Panic Button is the ones who did Doom for the Switch. They did an amazing job. They also did Rocket League, which is an amazing port as well. Panic Button, you guys are doing Wolfenstein 2, which means this is going to be an amazing port. I know a lot of people, well, it's not as powerful as the Xbox One PS4. That doesn't matter. If you haven't noticed Panic's Button work yet, you guys are sleeping. You need to wake up. They're doing amazing things over at Panic Button. Up next, we have Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. And I bought that because I thought, if anything, maybe Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 could sell enough copies, and Dragon Ball Fighters or Fighter Z could get noticed to come to the Switch. And unfortunately, that's not the case. I don't really enjoy this type of game. I'm not mad that I have it. I just don't put in the time needed to get the character to where it needs to be. Up next, we have, of course, The End is Nigh. Amazingly fun. It reminds me so much of Super Meat Boy. However, this game is just, to me, so much better. It's, again, my opinion. I like Super Meat Boy. I've played Super Meat Boy. This game is just so much better because of the humor in it. I just like the humor in it. He does exactly like I do when I'm at work. After that, we have Fate Excelia, the Umbrella Star. I hope I'm saying that right. I could be wrong. I bought that game because I had it first on PS4 and I fell in love with it. I haven't beaten it yet, but Marvelous. You guys do amazing things. It's Marvelous and Xseed, and they do amazing things. I've always supported Marvelous and Xseed in anything they do, because they've blown my mind pretty much on everything from 3DS to the original Wii, and their games are just outstanding. Next is a game I bought pretty much on day one because I wanted to see what it was about. And I know a lot of people don't like this game. Me personally, I haven't played it since maybe after a month after I bought it, but that's not because it's a bad game. It's because, again, I have a bad catalog and just kind of got lost in it. Has Been Heroes. I don't consider this to be a bad game at all. I consider it to be a game that people just find way too challenging. And me, I always like a good challenge. And I might start playing it again now that I've talked about it a little bit. But like I said, it's just gotten lost in the back catalog of games. I mean, after all, I'm still playing this game as well. You can't be like, oh, well, you know, you're not playing it, it must be a bad game. Not really. So far, we've gone through at least 7, 8. We're almost at 10 games here, and I haven't even beaten all of them yet. I haven't even began to scratch the surface of a few of these. So with that kind of knowledge there, think about that. How can I even, sit here and justify a lot of it? You know what I mean? And plus I have an Xbox One where I'm playing certain games on there as well. So the fact that, this gets lost in that back catalog because it's such a casual game just kind of means, okay, well, it was $20. I'm not mad at that. Up next, we have I Am Sensua, which is a imported game, which is why the rating on the bottom is so different. I probably made it to about 75% of the game before it just got lost to the back catalog. Again, it's just over the fact that I have so much here. And this game came with a insert, just a little insert, nothing special, but that's, I think, because it's a import. This game came out with the Switch, by the way. A lot of people don't realize how a game from Square Enix was a launch title game with the Switch. A lot of people forget that. They only consider the Switch to be, oh, the biggest game that came out with it was Legend of Zelda. No, it also had a game by Square Enix come out as well. You just like to overlook that because Zelda. Alright, up next we have It'll Do 2. It'll Do 2 is also by Nicalis. Nicalis, you guys, I love everything you do. It'll Do 2 has been called the indie version of my favorite Legend of Zelda game, which is A Link to the Past. Love that game. From the Super Nintendo, I love that game. That game is, by all means, my favorite Zelda game of all time. And up next, talking about Zelda, Breath of the Wild. One of the few Zelda games that I've ever beaten. I only have a handful, not many. I have a lot of Zelda games, but I've only beaten very few. And Breath of the Wild was one that I was going to beat. I have a lot of Zelda amiibos because I collect these Zelda amiibos. But I've only beaten very few of these Zelda games. I have beaten Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess, and yeah, that's about it. I mean, I love A Link to the Past. It's just me and my brother were, playing it together, and I didn't want to go and beat the game because he went and. So because he went and moved, I didn't complete the game because it was a game we were playing together. Up next, a game that I've spent way too much time playing, Mario Kart 8. Spent way too much time playing that game. For a racing game, I've spent way too much time playing that game. I can't even lie. After that, we have Mario and Rabbids. I don't understand why that game's so popular. Probably because I don't play Rabbids, so I have no idea. I mean, I get that it's fun, but I just don't understand the popularity behind the game. After that, we have the new game, Knights of Azura 2. If I'm saying that wrong, sorry. I'm fixing to start playing it once I finish with this. After that, we have Pokken Tournament DX. I have mixed emotions about this. I only ever play with Charmander. I don't even play it that much. It's only been played maybe 4 times. I bought it just to see what it was about, and I didn't plan on keeping it, but I got addicted to the fighting styles and the fact that it was so easy. After that, we have Rayman Legends Definitive Edition. I bought this because I wanted to play it. I remember playing the demo for it a long time ago, and I was like, man, I can finally play this on the Switch, and I'll get around to playing it. I've actually played it and gotten to, I think, level 4. It's not bad. It's actually pretty funny. It's different. Um, but yeah, it's one of those that's, I'm like, why did it take so long to play? After that, we have Skyrim. I bought Skyrim just to get the Legend of Zelda outfit in there. I have it now. Haven't touched it since. I also have Legends, or not Legend, but the Zelda, or not Zelda, but Skyrim on my Xbox One, which I also don't touch on there as well. After that, we have Super Mario Odyssey, which I have actually beaten the main story of, and am in trying to find all the fucking moons now. After that, we have Splatoon 2, which I've taken a break from because I get lost in that and can spend hours upon hours in. So I've kind of stopped playing it. After that, we have Tiny Barbarian DX. That game, to me, is way too addictive. Nicalis makes way too addictive games. The games you can lose yourself in playing for hours on end without even meaning to. I turned on Tiny Barbarian DX when I first got it. And I ended up playing it for like 4.5 hours by accident. After that, we have a game I can't pronounce. I could say the Battle Burst part, which is a subtext of the game. It says it's Toyu Kokubu, I guess. I don't think it's Kokubu, first of all. But Burst Battle, it's a weird anime looking game, which is the whole reason I bought it, and because it's so different. But it's made by the same company that made the Sega 5. That's the only thing I could recognize. And I was like, okay, you know what? The Sega 5 is actually pretty good. This should be pretty good. But this right here, when we talk about diversity in fighters, it says bullet hell. So I thought it was a shooter. This is actually a fighter. That caught me off guard. And then we have the actual fighter that started the whole fighter debate. Street Fighter 2 Ultra. The final challengers. I was going to make sure I said that right because I couldn't see it. With Violent Ken and Evil Ryu. And I play this mainly with Evil Ryu because why not? That was my main character in Street Fighter. And beating Bison's bitch ass is still a task. And then, of course, to end it all, we have my steelbook of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Which I've not put any time into because I wanted to go back and play Xenoblade Chronicles and go all the way through the Xenoblade Chronicles files to the new game. And because I can't stand the new voice acting, it gets on my nerves. I know that might be rude or mean or something to somebody, but the new voice acting has gotten on a lot of people's nerves. I've seen plenty of videos about it. And in order for me to ignore it for as long as I can, I'm going back and playing Xenoblade Chronicles on my 3DS, and then I'll play Xenoblade Chronicles X on my Wii U, and then I'll play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 when I can no longer ignore it. And due to the fact that I have a back catalog, this game will be ignored for as long as fucking possible. And because it's a steelbook, you know that I bought the collector's edition. So there you have all the games that I have on my Switch right now. Going forward, I have plans to buy Portal Knights physical edition. I have plans to buy Bayonetta 1 and 2, which hopefully they don't do the Resident Evil thing with. Excuse me, I can see them doing that, only I hope they don't. I hope what they do is, use Street Fighter here, is they put like a cart here for Bayonetta 2, and then they use this top part here and put one for Bayonetta 1. And make it a double one. Because if they make it to where one of them is download, that defeats the whole purpose. You know, they need to have 2 cards, not 1. Bayonetta 1 isn't even that big. It's a small game, small file size. It doesn't need to be all that much. Bayonetta 2, don't think it's all that big of a file size either. I mean, it was on the Wii U. Wii U games didn't eat up that much space neither. they could possibly fit it on one of those micro SD cards, which is what these are. So when that comes out next month, which also I think when Portal Knights comes out, I'm looking at getting both of those. But until then, this is what I have here, and I'm fixing to play Knights of Azure 2. Hopefully I said that right again. I swear to God I'm fucking that up. But that's what I have on my Switch. And I will talk to you guys later.